Hello students, today we will be studying the osteological features of the sacrum. Now sacrum is basically fusion of the 5 sacral vertebrae which form the sacrum. Now as we can see here, sacrum is a wedge shaped or a triangular bone. The base of the wedge is superior and forms the base of the sacrum. The edge of the wedge forms the inferior apex. Sacrum has 4 surfaces: a pelvic or anterior surface, dorsal or posterior surface, and 2 lateral surfaces. The canal of the sacrum is called the sacral canal. Now let us study the various morphological features. We'll first study the base. The base is having a central part or a central portion and 2 lateral parts which are called as the ala. The central portion has features of a typical lumbar vertebra. It shows a body which has got transverse diameter more than the antero-posterior diameter, which is like a lumbar vertebra. The anterior border of the body projects forwards to form the sacral promontory. The body articulates with the body of the 5th lumbar vertebra to form the lumbosacral joint, which is a secondary cartilaginous joint. The angle between the anterior surface of the 5th lumbar vertebra and that of the sacrum or ventral surface of the 1st sacral vertebra is what is called as the lumbosacral angle, and it is approximately 210 degrees. The anterior surface of the body of the 1st sacral vertebra provides attachment to the lowest fibers of the anterior longitudinal ligament, while the posterior surface of the body of the 1st sacral vertebra provides attachment to the lowest fibers of the posterior longitudinal ligament. We then go on to see the vertebral foramen. Now the vertebral foramen is triangular. It faces upwards, that is, it lies in horizontal plane during erect position of the body, and it leads into the sacral canal. We then go on to see the vertebral arch. The pedicle here is short and is directed backwards and laterally. The laminae are directed backwards, medially and downwards. The lowest pair of ligamenta flava are attached to the laminae. The spine forms the first spinous tubercle. The superior articular processes project upwards and they bear a concave surface to articulate with the inferior articular process of the 5th lumbar vertebra, and that forms a plain synovial type of joint. We then go on to study the ala. These lie on either side of the body of the 1st sacral vertebra, and they are formed by the fusion of transverse process and the costal element of the primitive vertebra. The ala has a smooth medial part and a rough lateral part. Both these parts are covered by the psoas major muscle. The smooth medial part is related to 4 structures from lateral to medial. These are the obturator nerve, the iliolumbar artery, the lumbosacral trunk, and the sympathetic chain. And we can remember them as OILS. O-I-L-S. Obturator nerve, iliolumbar artery, lumbosacral trunk, and the sympathetic chain. The lateral rough part of the ala gives attachment to the iliacus muscle anteriorly and to the ventral sacroiliac ligament posteriorly. We then go on to see the apex of the sacrum. It is formed by the inferior surface of the fifth sacral vertebra and it articulates with the upper end of the coccyx to form the sacrococcygeal joint, which is the secondary cartilaginous type of joint. Let us now see the two surfaces, the anterior and the posterior, and then we will see the two lateral surfaces. The pelvic surface or the anterior surface, this faces downwards and forwards. 4 transverse ridges and 4 pairs of pelvic sacral foramina at the lateral ends of these ridges represent the junction of the 5 fused sacral vertebrae. The pelvic sacral foramina transmit the ventral rami of upper 4 sacral nerves and the lateral sacral arteries. The pelvic sacral foramina communicate with the sacral canal through the intervertebral foramina. The median area between the pelvic sacral foramina represent the bodies of the 5 sacral vertebrae, and this area is related to the median sacral vessels in the midline, sympathetic trunks along the medial margin of the ventral sacral foramina, peritoneum and pelvic mesocolon related to the bodies of the upper 2.5 pieces, while rectum, which is related to the lower 2.5 pieces, and it is also related to the superior rectal artery. The lateral mass, the bony mass lateral to the pelvic sacral foramina, is formed by fusion of the costal elements with each other and with the transverse processes of the sacral vertebrae. The piriformis muscle originates from the middle 3 pieces of the sacral vertebra in an E-shaped manner. Then we go on to study the dorsal surface. This surface is relatively rough. It is convex and faces backwards and upwards. It is marked by 5 vertical uneven ridges. The median ridge is called the median sacral crest and it is formed by fusion of the sacral spines. Elevations along this crest are therefore known as the spinous tubercles. On either side of the median sacral crest is the intermediate sacral crest. Tubercles along the crest are called as articular tubercles because this crest is formed by fusion of the articular processes of the sacral vertebrae. The intermediate sacral crest lies in line with the superior articular process of the first sacral vertebra. The lower end of the intermediate crest projects as the sacral cornu. This represents the inferior articular process of the 5th sacral vertebra. The most lateral crest on each side is known as the lateral sacral crest. Its tubercles are called transverse tubercles because this crest is formed by fusion of the transverse processes of the sacral vertebrae. There are 4 pairs of dorsal sacral foramina. These are located just lateral to the intermediate sacral crest and medial to the lateral sacral crest. The dorsal sacral foramina communicate with the sacral canal through the intervertebral foramina. The erector spinae muscle takes origin in a U-shaped manner from the lateral and medial sacral crests. while the area enclosed between these two, the U-shaped area, gives origin to the multifidus muscle. We then go on to see the lateral surfaces. This surface is tapering, having a wider portion above and a narrower portion below. The upper wider part anteriorly shows the articular surface, an L-shaped articular process also known as the auricular surface. The angle between the two limbs of the L faces backwards. The auricular surface articulates with the ilium to form the sacroiliac joint, which is a plain synovial type of joint. The anterior and inferior margins of this auricular surface provides attachment to the ventral sacroiliac ligament. The interosseous sacroiliac ligament is attached to the area just behind the auricular surface. More posteriorly, this surface shows attachment of the dorsal sacroiliac ligament. The lower narrower part gives attachment to four structures. From anterior to posterior, these are the coccygeus muscle, the sacrospinous ligament, the sacrotuberous ligament, and the gluteus maximus muscle. So two muscles, and in between them two ligaments are attached to this lower narrower part of the lateral surface. We then go on to study the sacral canal. This is formed by the sacral vertebral foramina. It is triangular in cross section. The laminae of the fifth sacral vertebra do not fuse, giving rise to the sacral hiatus, which is marked as the lower end of the sacral canal. The sacral canal communicates with the pelvic and the dorsal sacral foramina through four intervertebral foramina present in its lateral wall on each side. What structures pass through the sacral canal? The lower part of the chorda equina, that is the sacral and the coccygeal nerve roots, the filum terminale, spinal meninges, and the lateral sacral vessels. And what structures emerge through the sacral hiatus? The fifth sacral nerve, coccygeal nerves, and the filum terminale. The second sacral vertebra marks the lower limit of the dura mater, arachnoid mater, and the subarachnoid space. The lower part of the sacral hiatus is bounded on each side by the sacral cornua, which represent the inferior articular process of the fifth sacral vertebra. The sacral cornua provide attachment to the intercornual ligament. Thus, we have seen the morphological features of the sacrum along with the attachments and the joints formed by this bone. Now, finally, let us see what is the anatomical position of the sacrum. The sacrum is a midline bone placed between the two hip bones on either side, with the fifth lumbar vertebra above and the coccyx below. The superior surface of the body of the first sacral vertebra slopes forwards at an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal plane. The anterior surface of the sacrum faces downwards and forwards, while the upper end of the sacral canal is directed upwards. So this is how you hold the sacrum in the normal anatomical position. Thus, we have seen all the morphological features of the sacrum bone. Thank you.